Whoa. What do you got going on there, Ed?
Well, this is mine, and here's the K-bar knife. So this is what potentially our witness saw, minus the glasses. And if he was wearing a hoodie sweatsuit, black sweatpants and sweatsuit, I believe we're going to be finding out more of the clothing he may have purchased and worn that night. So this is just a hoodie.
Ed, could you get closer to the camera so people can see? Yeah, a little bit closer if you can. Mm-hmm. Okay. So look, Ed does not have bushy eyebrows, but you can clearly see from this is the exact replica of this balaclava ski mask, right?
Mm-hmm. And this is the K-bar knife.
Bryan Kohberger, accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students, purchased a black mask prosecutors say is identical to the one used by the killer. From a Dick's Sporting Goods in Pittsburgh, 10 months before the murders, eyewitness Dylan Mortensen says she saw a man in a similar mask in the house the night of the murders.
She sees the killer passing by, a man dressed in black, a black mask up to his nose with bushy eyebrows, as she describes him, about 5'10", athletic.
The defense is bringing up the detectives from Latah County, Moscow PD, when they were interviewing DM and BF, in particular DM, they're saying that she was kind of coaxed into this drawing that we're looking at here. Again, the defense's job is to defend their client and to try to create reasonable doubt. But these are emotions before the trial is starting. And in my opinion, and Ed, you could correct me if you think I'm wrong, I don't think Judge Hepler is going to say, we're going to throw this out. The only surviving witness that drew a statement and submitted it, into the court record, we're going to just throw that out because the defense says it was coaxed. Your thoughts, Ed?
He's not going to toss this sketch out. He's not going to say that her testimony shouldn't come in. It's corroborated. This is all corroboration of what she saw. And now we know he owned that mask. Now we also know that his eyebrows are bushy just 6 hours after the attack. In his dorm, in his shower, he takes that selfie. His eyebrows couldn't be any bushier. Okay. Shit. I mean, I call my lawn maintenance guy. They hit him up quick with the weed whacker. All right. Those bushes are huge. Okay.
It just amazes me that no matter how much evidence we're seeing, this is 5 months till the trial begins, we're seeing more and more because there was it was a gag order. But now that this stuff is being released and fought with, the defense is trying to obviously get stuff like this, the mask that you wore, that balaclava ski mask, that's damning evidence against their client, and they want it thrown out. I'm not just talking about Dan Taylor, the whole defense team. They want that.
This right here is the most damning evidence. The DNA right here. Okay. And then you add in the car, you add in the phones, you add in the mask, the purchase of the knife. Okay. It's just a mountain of evidence that's piling up on him. How is he going to dig himself out from under this?
Yeah, and it's unbelievable that his defense attorney stated that he was out stargazing we looked at the weather. I looked it up. I'm sure tons of other people looked it up. It was a cloudy night. You couldn't see the stars.
Foggy and cloudy.
How do you go out stargazing? And all of this stuff is not coincidental. It is damning. It's damning evidence. And it's amazing that so many women and men that are out there that are pro Kohberger. I would present this to them. If this was your adult son, adult daughter, if it was your family member, I don't think that they would be cheering on for Bryan Kohberger. And it's easy for people who are not connected to it to do that. When we work for the victims and their families as retired law enforcement, as crime scene investigators, as detectives, we know firsthand the horror that is inflicted on the victims and their families for the rest of their lives. So we're there to work for justice, and there's no Pullman campus police / Latah County / Moscow PD collusion, cover up and all of this nonsense. I laugh at that, and
the investigation led to all of these discoveries.
Yeah. Look at this one. I guarantee that he walks. That's one we have to save in the hopper right there.
Okay, yeah, hold on to that one. And just like that's not his car, or he's not guilty. There's no evidence. I see it all in the chat. Okay, just remember what you're saying, folks. Remember what you're saying for after the trial.
A lot of humble pie. There's a lot of humble pie.
The prosecutors say they have proof that Bryan Kohberger bought a black balaclava mask, quote, the same type of mask described by Dylan Mortensen, from a Dick's Sporting Goods store in January of 2022. The defense is now attacking her description of a mask-wearing intruder with bushy eyebrows. State says that is Kohberger she's describing. The defense says, well, that witness, that roommate, that surviving roommate, was influenced by the detectives on the case. And they point to the fact that she admits she was drunk that night when she saw a stranger walking past her bedroom door. For what that's worth.
The detectives didn't make her draw that mask.
The defense is trying to, that controversy, she was kind of coaxed into that somehow. Ann Taylor, she's, like you said, she's throwing as much shit as she can up against the wall to see what sticks.
Okay, so the mask was sold to so how many people though? Yeah, but in the infinite world that we live in, okay, and then you look at this community, his car on videotape, his cell phone pinging the towers, he's purchasing this mask, which this witness describes, okay? He purchased that knife and left a sheath behind with his DNA on the clip, okay? I mean, it's all there. Everything is there. Okay, his work when he was in his master's degree program, his papers that he wrote on committing the perfect crime, and there's a stabbing involved in the crime. Okay, and I mean, this may be nothing, but I just find it crazy coincidental that his birthday is November 22nd.
1122 King Road.